Good morning. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. We're here for our consent agenda review and work session. Morning, Cindy.
Good morning. I'm afraid the roads were just super slick, so I've been going very slow.
Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes then.
Can I sneak in before you guys do your consent agenda?
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
You already snuck in, didn't you?
I did. I just walked right on in, but I'm like, I want to get if I can get on the agenda. Maybe.
Okay. What do you got for us this morning?
We have currently our accounts payable person as taken a position at Renew, and we're being told that we can't replace our person until we do a PowerPoint presentation, and it goes to the PRMRT on the 26th. So I'm here hoping that we can maybe expedite that a little faster and get approval to fill that position, since it's kind of an essential.
You already have somebody.
Well, we don't already have somebody, but this will put it out even further. I mean, I figure it's going to be like 2 weeks to run it, a week to interview, another 2 weeks for if that person is working. You know, that puts it out a long ways.
Accounts payable person?
Joe is taking a position at Renew.
Oh, he has. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah. And so his last day will be the 30th. And so we're kind of like, oh, if we have to do all of this and wait, that puts us out even further. And our office is already taxed with, implementation of the new software. And we do approximately 1,600 checks a week. And he processes those.
Good morning. I just wanted to let you know that I'm here, Michelle. And the direction that I provided you was direction provided to me to the board last week. So I do have it on my agenda to talk to the board about it again today. That their intent is what their intent is, because I'm getting mixed messages.
Yeah. Well, I was just hoping maybe I could expedite it.
You and everybody else. Yep.
I know it's a little panicky when you're already,
absolutely
stretched to the max that we have to wait that long.
Decorah, I don't know if you saw in my update that I sent out last week with the leadership report, but I was going to bring it up at roundtable today, both travel policy, capital, and PMR policy.
Yeah.
So if you would just give that, some consideration, we do an awful lot of checks, and we'd have to start going back to the 2 week, every 2 weeks instead of once a week processing check, which didn't work very well for everybody, but it just, we don't have enough. It'll be hard.
Okay.
It'll be hard with all the implementation and the new processes and stuff to handle.
Are you going to reach out to some of the people that applied previously, or?
Well, we haven't had it open for a while, but we can look at maybe some of the applications that we got for the last. How long do we have, Decorah, to use?
6 months.
6 months. And so I could ask Jonathan for anything that we've had for I'm trying to think of what we've had open.
Well, we can go back and look at applications and resumes for the last 6 months and see if there's somebody, and then reach out to them and ask them if they would like to apply for, but they still need to go through the application process, because so if this position had been filled in the last 6 months, we could go back and just fill from that pool.
The last one we had was for our payroll person. That's been the most current one.
Okay.
Other than Amanda. Amanda's been here. Let's see. I'm trying to think how long she's been here now. Not that long. So we should have some from that one.
Well, and previously when we had the hiring freeze, we didn't there really wasn't a large presentation. It was more of, this is an important position. We don't have time to wait. So the commissioners would let them move forward. So I guess I didn't realize we had such a large process to
Cindy,
review.
It's not a large process.
This is the PMR process, and that's what was asked of me to have people do, to bring them to PMR.
Right.
Oh, there's Cindy. She made it.
So, and we can discuss this more during my meeting. I'm happy to.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to pop in and like plead my case. So
Yep, I will add
Like,
your position
totally.
specifically.
we're just already so buried that
Okay.
throw it out there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, thanks.
Thanks for coming in.
Well, sometimes we don't know when there's a problem until there's a problem.
Tell it kids.
Okay, thank you.
The only other thing on the consent agenda I had a question about is the travel funds. Are we okay to move forward with that today?
So let's talk about that. Because, you know, we made this decision at budget, but we have not sent out any specific direction to anybody in the county about travel. And I'd like to suggest that we kind of put it to bed today. The travel, first of all, I don't think that in-state travel for department heads should be subject to a consent request. It never has. It's currently not that way in policy. And currently in policy, all out-of-state travel has to go to consent. So we're not really changing any part of the policy by doing that.
We're
I'd
just
like to.
changing the fund.
Oh,
moving it, so.
yeah, so, and we haven't heard from the prosecutor yet, so I know he's up next. So I'd like to find out what, you know, if anything, he's decided on that.
Okay.
So I need to get direction out, because I mean, I'm getting calls from everybody.
Yeah, we need
So-
to get it figured out.
Can I, can't I, can I, can't I?
Right.
And
And
Tom,
we
I
need-
concur with you on that.
And we need to differentiate between current expense funds and people with other funds. Personally, I'm struggling with Dell's request, but it's his budget and it's not I think that's a huge ask. We all travel, but you ought to be able to ensure that you're bringing back value. I have some questions about that, you know.
I
that-
assume there's a reason behind his request. I mean, I would hope that there's some kind of training that they're gonna also do.
Well, I asked that. He said there are courses that they're gonna take there, but I think they're like breakout sessions. So I talk about more of that. I have, I don't have, well, during HR's update. Decorah, are you going into executive session on disciplinary measures this morning?
I didn't have anything scheduled, but I can certainly add it if you need.
Yeah, if you could add it, I have a couple of things I need to discuss and then I can discuss some other stuff there. So
Sounds good. I will add it.
So I'll wait to talk more about that. The other thing I'd like to talk to the board about, because I need to get direction out to everybody, is the capital. So if the need to send everything to consent was because we're worried about cash flow and current expense, we need to only amend the policy to discuss current expense. You know, once we allocated REAP funds, which are accounted for, trial court improvement funds, law and justice funds, carryover funds, those are all accounted for, not subject to the cash flow problems that we have in current expense. Would you guys agree with that?
Well, yes and no. If there's a cash flow problem and all of a sudden current expense went away, we would start.
We can't use REAP to supplement current expense.
No, but we can use it probably for some other things that may be, and SIP.
So, but that's my question is, you know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 projects out of about 30 that are a capital expense or current expense, and all the rest are either REIT, trial court improvement, or you're going to get inundated with consent items for projects. And I'm curious what the requirement's going to be to ensure the cash flow is correct for a $50,000 project for a stormwater swale that's being paid for at a REIT, or the windows that we've been directed to put in, that's $24,000, that's REIT. That's going to become a consent request before Kevin can move forward. The bathroom exhaust fan for the Superior Court clerk, $7,500. as trial court improvement funds, but as per this policy that we're talking about, that's gonna have to come to you for consent. And I think that's just a little bit over the top, my personal opinion. So I'd like it to read that if it's a current expense project, then yes, it absolutely has to go to consent first. But if it's not current expense, we should be able to treat it as the current policy states.
But you
where-
could do most of those in one clean swoop.
Well, but what does that do? So now, you're worried about your cash flow. So now Kevin comes to you with a consent with 10 projects on it. If he doesn't start one of those projects until June, you haven't done anything to manage your cash flow. You've just gone ahead and said yes to everything anyway, which now you're doing twice because you just said yes to everything in budget meetings. You said yes to everything, but with a caveat that now everything has to come to us with a consent request. So it's approved, but now it has to come to us with a consent request. So if they come with all of them, you're kind of defeating the purpose of what you did. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think the horror of this whole event is that we took millions out of reserve to balance the budget.
I agree.
And that's why we're kind of backpedaling.
Well,
And
I've requested a meeting with Daryl this morning, and I have another call with Baker Tilly tomorrow morning to ensure we're all on the same page, because I think the underlying problem to all of this is none of us are comfortable with how much money the county has.
well, I think we're probably comfortable with how much money we have. I'm just not comfortable with how much money we took out of reserve because it's not sustainable. So next year, if we don't, maybe our numbers are not quite right. We do have some things that we're throwing in.
I think we have some.
And Tom, really, we're not doing this, me as a commissioner, I'm not doing this to make it difficult on anybody else.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't, that's
You know,
not my,
It's just, I think, to kind of lock down some funds so that in case we're short, I mean, it's employees, it's either capital is, and you're right, you can move things, but some of the, like the SIP, we can pay for employees, salaries, you know, there are some
Yeah.
things that we can do, but if we deplete all of those, we are.
I agree. And I'm not trying to undermine
Yeah.
that thought at
No,
all.
it seems very labor intensive.
I'm just trying to make sure we're being as efficient as we can and recognizing the differences between current expense, REIT, trial court improvement, law and justice funds, the carryover funds where they can and can't be used, so that people can go about their daily business without having to create more paperwork, more bureaucracy, right? That kind of thing. And I think there is concern about where we sit financially. I think there are concerns about whether or not our numbers are right.
Well, we should know here in the next couple of months, shouldn't we?
We should, yeah. And that's what I'm talking to Daryl about today. And we need to make sure that the scope for Baker and Tilly is as expected. So I had a recent email exchange and I had to send back an email saying, wait, that's not what the original, I mean, when we met with you with one of our county commissioners, that was not the discussion. It was different than this. And they're like, oh, we should probably meet then. I'm like, yeah, so we're going to meet again tomorrow morning. So
So the projects, those 7 projects that are under current expense, are those large projects? Are they?
no, the largest one is $80,000, and that's a Brian Miller upgrade at the fairgrounds. And some of these can be on a case-by-case basis. You know, interior improvements each year, we're funded some amount. You know, a lot of times we'll in February or March or April.
Wait, we did, those should come out of current expense.
Yeah, so we were funded this year, for instance, $35,000 for interior improvements. Kim might call us or Brandon might call us and say,
Okay.
hey, I have a need for this thing. And nobody has it in their budget, and that's what that's for. And that can easily be a one-off, you know, it can go to consent. Oh, by the way, you know, the public defender has asked for this installation of this thing, whatever it might be.
Right.
And then you know we're tracking that closely.
The capital or the stage was current expense, not REIT.
According to the capital sheet that I have from Mandy, it is current expense.
Okay, because I thought we took everything out of current expense and gave it a name. I mean, gave it a different account.
Actually, no, wait a minute. She's got it in 2 different places.
Okay. Don't scare me.
No,
like
she's
that.
got Brian Miller under REIT too, so I'll have to
Okay.
double check that, because in one she's got it as current expense and one she's got it as REIT, so I'll question that.
Okay, yeah, I thought we took everything out of current expense.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Yeah,
Well,
you scared me,
so,
Tom, but
no,
maybe
well,
not.
so in current expense, interior improvements, a new door for development services that's needed, some HVAC improvements. Access control additions, 5 different doors across the campus, the scissor lifts, at the new jail, and some safety improvements were all current expense. Those were, and it was 35,000, 7,000, 17,000, 25,000, 30,000, and 10,000. So they weren't huge,
Mhm.
you know, but regardless. And typically we don't hit current expense for large projects. It's typically, you know.
Well, we try not to.
Yeah, it's typically law and justice or trial court or REIT, so. So, back to the traveler, we good if I send out official notice to everybody saying, you know, if you're a department head and you're doing in-state travel, that's as per the current policy. All out-of-state travel, regardless of what department you're in, has to go to consent, just like it did before. But we need to get an answer from Brandon today
Mhm.
as to whether or not we can do what we did with the travel fund.
Right. Yeah, I
I can
think,
send that out.
I think that's reasonable. You think, what do you think, Cindy?
Mhm. Yeah, well, let's ask Brandon. We'll know here shortly.
One last thing, I'll probably have a consent item. So recently I have discovered that I've been using my personal vehicle for a lot of travel. I wasn't aware that Youth Services replaced its fleet. I guess it was a decision from last year. It's been ongoing. I had asked Public Works if they had any surplus vehicles so that I could use one as like an administrator's car. And they have a 2013 Ford Escape that I can get for $5,000. And then I can park it, and that way I'm not taking one of the maintenance vehicles for maintenance every time I go to the jail or Public Works or Renew or what have you. I'd have to do a budget extension because I don't have that in my budget. Do either of you have an issue with me doing that and putting that on consent next week?
Let's see, hopefully you're not going far with it, 2013.
It only
I
has
said
60,000 miles on it.
72,000.
72,000, yeah.
That thing's got a couple 100,000 miles left on it, so. But it's better than using my car, you know, which I continue to do because if there's not a
Yeah,
vehicle
you should
available.
be using your.
Well,
own
you
vehicle
should
for
be
county.
charging mileage if you use.
Well, I
it.
could, but you just never know when you have to pop out, run to
Okay.
the jail or pop, you know, so it would be easier if I had something parked over
Yep.
there that I could use. So,
No, I think that'd be fine.
okay, I'll put that on consent for next week. We have a new judge. Did you guys see that?
Saw that.
I did not see that.
So Jennifer Richardson, we are the first county in the state to have all-female Superior Court judges. Jennifer Richardson out of Okanagan County.
Is that where she lives currently?
I'm not
I'm
sure.
hoping
She's
she
been working
moved-
for the AG, so she's been working for
I'm
the
hoping
state.
she moves to Grant County.
There's, I sent you I sent you a link via
I probably have it.
either email, Teams, or Facebook. I thought I sent it, so.
Oh,
Text.
okay.
It was in the Columbia Basin Journal. Randy Brock's
Okay.
new deal. Or if you just do a Google search for Grant County new judge, it'll come up.
When did this happen?
Friday, I think was
Okay,
the
so it
announcement.
just happened.
Commissioners, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, good morning. I'm working from home today. I do have a topic to discuss during the work session. I know you guys still need to review the consent items, but would now be an okay time to bring this up?
You guys did read.
Yeah, we've already reviewed these consent items.
Okay. So, I think last week or the week before, there was a resolution on consent setting the salaries and wages for non-union employees. And after doing a review, I talked with Gina and HR about it a little bit. In that resolution, it had said that the commissioners were looking at potentially matching, I believe, a wage increase for non-union employees, matching it to union contracts. Decory and Gina are online so they can help explain a little bit more, but we were wondering if the commissioners wanted to leave that how it is, or if you wanted to amend the resolution to state the actual percentage increase that the non-union employees received for 2026.
I think we need to put an amount in. Because all unions seem to be different throughout the
I think,
courthouse.
did I see an email from accounting that it's already been implemented?
I believe on this paycheck, it has been implemented, Tom. And part of my concern about the resolution is Barb did send it to me on December 16th, and it was an oversight on my part that I didn't finish reading or didn't pay attention to the end of her email where she wanted my opinion on it. And so it was brought forward, but as on the requesting document, the cover sheet, it says out-of-state travel resolution. So I guess I was a little confused by that, but from what I've heard is that this is a document that Tony has asked that the board do on an annual basis. I want to follow up with him to ensure that it's okay to put that percentage, the COLA percentage in. As I read the resolution, it says that essentially that the board has the right to amend anything that they've done in mid-year or at any time during the year. So I just want to get some clarification from Tony.
I'm going to throw something out for y'all too. So when Clallam County does a wage increase like a COLA, they do half the COLA in the first half of the year, and they do the second half in June 1st, which helps in their cash flow. Might be something to consider next year. So they don't ever, you might give a 2.7 or a 3 or 4, let's pretend you did 4%. You would give a 2% in January, and then the second 2% June 1st.
Which would save us some money, but it sounds like a nightmare because we do so much retro. I had to go back and.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. I hadn't actually seen that before, so. But that's their standard practice.
And I'm assuming, Tom, that June payment or that June increase is prospective, not retroactive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not retro, so you're
No,
only,
but we do have a lot of employees that we will go do retro, once we.
yeah, I'm just saying it's worth discussion in the future
Mhm.
from a, cost saving.
Mhm.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, as long as the employees are okay with it.
Better than laying people off.
Now, Cindy, you have seen this resolution over the years, I'm assuming, if it's a document that was provided or language that was encouraged by our labor attorney. Is that accurate?
The one that Barb sent you in,
Yeah.
I would have to say probably yes. Do I recall it? No.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I think when we don't always, I guess my concern is if we're gonna match whatever the union matches for the non-union, not every union group gets the same increase.
Correct.
The
And we
majority-
really shouldn't be putting, in my opinion, in writing that that's the intent is to match union because that could be considered an unfair labor practice.
Correct. So I would just put whatever, I think we do COLAs, not union, so I would leave it just, take that comparable out.
Yeah. Caitlin, did
So
that help you?
To clarify then, at this time, our office, we're waiting for we're waiting to hear from you, Decorah, after you talk to Tony. Is that right? Or
Yes, I'll reach out to Tony today and ask him more specifically about putting the COLA that was provided into the resolution for this year.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Write that decision down, know that.
Yeah, I don't want to put anything in writing, get us in trouble. Anybody have anything else?
No, and I think I've been emailing Carrie. I don't know if Carrie's on. So we did approve that 1.2 million for the housing. Sounds like that was approved. Okay. So it's pretty
Carrie
much-
is online. Would you like me to make her a panelist?
Yeah. I guess, I mean, we did approve the 1.2 million for Cooley Medical.
For the medical center of Grand Coulee.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You guys did approve that 1.2 for the Cooley Medical Center workforce project. The problem is Grant informed me that they are not on a comp plan with the county or Grand Coulee. And they probably won't be listed on one till the end of 2026.
Correct.
So I'm wondering, do I need to put that in like a pending status? Go ahead and,
If we've committed the funds, we are, because we have 1.8 million in that account.
well, it's gonna drop after this, the last 3 projects that were approved the end of December. With that 1.2, it's going to drop us down to $400,000 left in that account. But I don't have the numbers from November and December yet. So I don't know how much was added into that as of December. So, and I know, Cindy, you said that we weren't allowed to make any reimbursement payments or anything to anybody that's not on a comp plan.
Yeah, no, it's illegal.
Right.
We're not hammered for that. So if they're not on a comp plan, we cannot, I mean, their plan is ineligible. So for funding. So if they're not on a comp plan, we can't even touch it with SIP. It has to be on a comp plan.
That would mean we couldn't do anything with that.
Yeah, so we may as well, what I would recommend is just letting them know, because they're not on a comp plan, that it's not eligible at this time, and then I would just ask them to resubmit, because we're giving them money. I just feel like there are so many more projects that could be out there, and I know there's some out there, because George has a big one, and we're tying up money, a lot of money.
Just out of curiosity, Carrie, are you in contact with this group, the Cooley Medical Center?
Yes, I've been talking with Sean Grow.
Can you ask them if they've already received federal funding for this project? Because I believe that Merchant McIntyre said that they had helped them get federal earmarks for this project, so they might.
Yeah, I believe he did say, or Brant said that they had.
They got $3 million.
Yeah.
That's
But
what
I
I'm.
mean, I'm just,
So
but we know we're not allowed to give it to them, so I'm not, just because they've gotten federal funding, and they could be.
I only say that just to put it out there that they have received some funds, so it's not like they were dying for ours. And if they had to wait, I guess they could.
Well, and I did talk to the director, Kelly.
Okay.
What is their last name? Anyway, and they were gonna try to get it on the city's comp plan as soon as they could, but it's gonna be a while. So I
So I
would,
think you can only update your comp plan one time in a cycle, right? And that's it. That's
once
all.
a year, or
Yeah, once a
sometimes the city only does it once every 3 or 4 years. I think you can make an amendment, but again, I'm not an attorney.
According
It
to
wouldn't be on
what,
ours regardless, right? It's got to be on the cities.
No, it could be on ours, but they missed ours. So we're not able to do it until next December, November, December.
But they have plans to get that in, the comp plan at Grand Coulee, so.
Sometime
we
this
can
year.
hold that. we can hold those funds, or
So then do I need to make what do I need to do to fix that resolution that was approved the end of December for that 1.2?
Well, honestly, I would call Commerce and ask them, and then just verify that the housing, if you explain the housing, because it's not for public housing, it's actually for housing for the entity that is only for I think the doctors. Because looking on it, sometimes it can't be more than the medium salary, which those doctors and nurses will be higher than. So, I mean, there's just so many different rules, and I don't know which line applies to, if they kind of open it up to improve housing. So I would really like a statement from the Department of Commerce that this is an allowable use for the housing that is only to be used by the employees that work from the hospital.
Okay, I will work on that.
It's not public housing.
thanks,
Okay,
Gary.
thank you,
Thank
Karen.
you.
All right, 9:30, we'll move on to the prosecuting attorney's office update. Good
Welcome.
morning, gentlemen.
Happy New
Good
Year.
morning. Happy New Year. Has it really been?
Well,
We're almost done with January.
I know, I've been gone, so it feels like.
How are you all?
Good.
Good. You may recall the email from Kim
Travel.
from the clerk's office.
Travel.
About the travel fund, yeah. Admittedly, it was not something that I was caught up on, so I took some time looking into it. Trevor did a little bit of research on it as well. In Kim's email, she mentioned Greg Banks, who Trevor and I spoke with at the end of last week. Essentially what it comes down to is it's contradictory to the statutes, or not allowable under the RCWs. Essentially the board adopts a budget and are stuck within the bounds of that budget, and it can't restrict the line item things from the departments. I think when talking with Greg Banks, he advised their commissioners to just do an amended budget, striking that portion from the motion, or from the adopted budget. I don't think that they ended up doing that. They just gave the money back to the departments themselves and the elected officials to manage by themselves. Cleanly speaking, though, it would be the best just to make sure that everything is done correctly from a public standpoint. If they were to do a records request or something, that there would be an amended motion and adopted budget, just striking that travel fund issue. Trevor did find an attorney, what is it, Attorney General
opinion from 1964. It's essentially the same issue, but as it relates to purchasing departments and whatnot, it comes to the same conclusion that it was not allowed under the statutes. I do, as Mr. Guernsey indicated, I do have a memorandum that I will be finalizing and submitting with a detailed analysis, arriving at this position.
So we have to leave the travel fund line in everybody's budgets the way it used to be, but we can fall back on our current policy, and we can always amend policy on how travel is performed.
As long as, I would say probably with department heads, but not elected officials, because they adopt their budget in a way that, for example, if I wanted to send my deputy prosecutors to a specific training and pay for that, I should not have to go through the commissioners to do that. My allotted, my travel fund was specific for, this are the trainings that we want to go to.
Okay, so even for out of state, so our policy said.
Out of state is different.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
want to make sure,
yeah.
okay, because if we need to clean that up.
Yeah,
So
no.
I would say we'll wait for the memo, but it sounds like we need to just leave in-state
Yeah.
travel.
So currently our policy states that in-state travel is up to department heads. It doesn't have to go to BOCC approval, but all out-of-state travel goes to the BOCC
Yeah,
for approval.
that's still okay.
Okay.
So I'll just reiterate that in an email. I'll do it all Grant County, or to all department heads.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
This is not to say the idea was done or ill-conceived.
No,
It's just the
maybe we,
legality- The legality of
Maybe
it.
people will be mindful of their travel.
Yeah, yeah.
Be careful.
You would hope.
It's actually funny, in talking with Greg Banks, head of Island County, And I don't know what the situation was here, but there they thought that people were underutilizing the travel funds.
Oh.
And I don't know if it was the opposite here, if they were overutilizing and therefore we were in the negative
No, I think we're just trying
for
to,
that.
we took so much money out of reserve to balance our budget.
Sure.
We're like, let's just be mindful of
just-
travel.
Yeah, so I think on their end, for the most part, people were underspending, and so they wanted it all in one big account so that afterwards they could probably do exactly
Okay.
what you're talking about. But even then, it's still not allowed under the statute,
Okay.
so,
Well, thank you for researching.
yeah, sorry. it
And
took me so
sorry,
long.
no, and sorry, I
It's,
know you're busy with other things, so travel is probably not one of your focal points, but thank you.
And like Trevor is working on the memo, it'll probably be short and sweet so that you don't have to read
Yeah, I'm not trying to produce a dissertation on the topic.
No,
Well, to
short
that,
and
to
sweet
that
words.
end, do we need a memo or do we just need to reiterate to everybody that we follow the current policy? Because
Yeah,
it doesn't
but
seem like we're
We
gonna,
do not need approval for in-state travel.
yeah, so we're not diverging, we're not,
Okay.
or we're not.
And historically, it has been out-of-state travel, they still
Only.
come.
Yeah.
And nobody is,
So do we need a memo then or just to send out?
Yeah, because we told everybody that they need approval, so I would say send it out.
All right, I will finalize the memo and get that out just as soon as I possibly can on that, and then take appropriate action
It
from
can
there.
literally be a sentence or two sentences. And we
Yeah.
can find
I've already got this beautiful memo, so
okay, don't ruin it.
I will send it off, and you can do with it as you see fit. We did, moving on to the next topic, we did send out a list of updated contracts that we have to the board. I believe that went out this morning. That was on that. We do have a couple of contracts that are requiring a significant amount of effort, both back and forth with either counsel on the other side or with another agent. So we're working through those issues that are diligent so we can get them in a posture to approve. Beyond that, are there any specific questions regarding the list that was submitted this morning?
I have a couple, the AIA document for the GCCM with Renew and MJ Neal and Associates for, or it's not GCCM, but the AIA contract for facilities. Any movement on that?
So I would say we're probably about 30% through on that. So I hope to have it done within the next couple days, by Friday at the very least. I am prioritizing that contract, as I understand they want to get moving on that. So I want to get that out as soon as possible.
And just as a reminder, I know you have that expertise in your head, and it's expensive for me to use Perkins and Coie, but they do have a very fast turnaround on that, on AIA documents. It's who's doing all of our GCCM stuff. So if that removes the burden from you, just keep that in mind in the future. The other one that I know is a big deal for the fairgrounds is the Eastman Corbin contract, EC Touring Incorporated. Any idea what's happening there?
So again, going through right now as the contract is listed is essentially a blank check on a lot of items and trying to corral it at that point in time. Certainly, I don't think that we want to just issue a blank check out to them based upon whatever it is. And so we have some movement back and forth. We're still trying to come up with some kind of a cap, some kind of a structure to where we can know what we're entering into here at this point in time. So I should have comments out in the next day or so on that. That's another one of my prioritizing contracts. But again, as the way it was listed, it's a struggle to get through. I will put it that way.
That's okay. I just need to understand. So,
And so a lot of the items, again, is blank checks. It's just simply, okay, you have this flat fee that they're looking at going through and doing, and then we have an obligation to provide a bunch of ancillary costs and other things that are in there. And they just simply go, oh, well, this is just the way that it's done and whatnot. But the way that it's done, is it 5,000? Is it 10,000? Is it 30,000? And it's cannot advise to enter into an open-ended contract where we don't know what we're getting into, especially in the current climate. And so it's a matter of going, okay, is it going to be, well, let's just take meals, for example. Is it going to be a meal for 10 at $50, or is it going to be a meal for 100 at $200?
There should be a cap on the amount that we're paying out.
100%. And I don't think those are unreasonable requests. It's just a matter of getting through those and working through. And then also, I do believe that they are trying to come up with an additional addendum because the one that was attached to it was not even attached to the contract or shouldn't have been intended to be attached in the first place. So we're working through all of those issues to make sure that the terms that are intended to control actually in fact control under the contract and make sense.
After the meeting, I gotta follow up with you on that, just as something I might be able to work on.
Yeah, certainly. Is there any other questions regarding the contracts that I can answer specifically at this point in time?
Not
None. Good luck on the Houston work. We always seem to have some excitement with the artists that come to the fairgrounds.
That's what I understand. And to be clear, it's certainly not an intent to be difficult, but rather an intent to be mindful as to what we're.
Does it come from the promoter or is it?
I believe it does.
Well, that's a fantastic question because we haven't gotten a clear indication as to where it comes from. Whether it be someone in a Ford Pinto on the side of the road or whether it be a promoter in Nashville or, however that comes in.
Seems like we go through this
Every
quite
year.
often. Yeah, every year.
So maybe we can get through this one and we can get cleaner going forward, but we'll keep plugging away at it. Beyond that, we don't have much more for an update this morning, so it's fairly short and sweet.
See, we have a new
What was
Superior
your
Court
guys'
judge.
thoughts on the new judge?
I've never met her, based on, I have talked to some people who have worked with her. Apparently she has come to do some dependency matters, I think, and I haven't heard anything negative, so.
And I have heard even less than that, so I don't know.
Now, will she be required to move to Grant County?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just was curious.
I mean, assuming that she wants to seek reelection.
Okay.
I think the Superior Court, I'm like 90%.
Well,
sure.
most of the elected officials have to live in Grant
Right.
County, so I was surprised somebody, okay.
So will she have to run this year? Or will it be next year?
I think she
How does
will.
that work?
I
She'd have
I
to run
think
this
so,
year, I think.
yeah.
Because
I
sometimes
think
if you're
absolutely,
appointed,
yeah.
you get to do that special election,
I would
whether
think
she's
so.
ready to run or not.
I'd have to double check it when Tyson's was up or Judge Hill's.
I
election
think
cycle was
there
up.
she will be Judge Anna. So he may not have been, or yeah.
Yeah.
It might be in 2
Because she's
years.
fulfilling Judge Hill's spot, so if he wasn't up for reelection, I don't think she would have to unless there was a special.
Well, but sometimes, yeah, they
You
make
have
them
to
do a
do that,
special,
yeah.
so I don't know how that.
Well, and she's still getting a head start even if she had to file in May, right?
Yeah,
So
she's
she's
still
still
have
getting
time
a
to
head
do it.
start on anybody else that would. So.
Well, and there weren't many applicants, and she,
Okay.
from how I understand it, there were only 2,
Okay.
and she was not one of them. So the governor decided to say no to the 2 that did
Okay.
apply and appoint, which is perfectly in his purview to do. So, yeah. Yep. But I'm optimistic, and I think it'll be cool to have an all-female bench. So
Only one in the
should be
state.
cool. Yeah,
Only
should be
one.
pretty neat.
I think first time in history.
Probably.
Pretty cool. Grant
Yeah.
County, leading by example.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I think it will be pretty, I'm optimistic, so it'll be
Yeah,
pretty
no, I
fun
think it'll be
to
good.
see. Just as far as office-wide things go, all of our legal assistants are fully staffed now. And I've heard nothing but good things about all of the recent hires that we did at the tail end of 2025. And I'm actually starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, so.
Good.
Yeah, it's looking like it's gonna be a pretty good 2026, so.
It'd
Little
be a
less
great
stress on your plate.
2026.
Huh?
A little less stress on your plate?
There is a little bit less, yeah,
A little bit less.
a little bit less, yes.
You guys have a tough job.
Thank you, yeah. But other than that, I don't think that we have anything else unless there's anything that we can do for you all.
So is there anything we can do for you? Or
At the
anything
moment,
we can do
no.
better?
I did email about the possible training that I want to take the office to, so thank you for your responses to that. I think it will be really good. Just the amount of items that we have at the crime lab and the lack of knowledge that a lot of our DPAs and staff have about what they do there. Every trial that we go to, we get questions of, have you ever done or admitted this piece of evidence, or have you ever cross-examined or even direct examined this type of person? And it's one thing talking to a person who has done it versus talking to a person who has the expertise in it. And my thought process is, if you cannot explain it to a 5-year-old, then you don't understand what it is that you're asking. And if our job is to convince jurors that this person knows what they're talking about, we should have an in-depth knowledge of whatever it is that we're talking about. So I think it will be super beneficial.
100%. I think it'd be good.
So yeah, I think we're gonna try to plan that sometime in March and just take the day and go. So
Good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And of course, you are invited if you would like to come. So,
Where is that?
yeah, Cheney. It's the crime lab. Yeah. So they do firearms, DNA, fingerprinting. I think everything except for toxicology, like from DUIs. That's, I think, done on the west side somewhere. So, but should be pretty cool. We've done. I've had a couple of gun experts come in and talk about how the fire cartridges are expelled from the firearm and how they do the tool mark analysis and everything like that. Is actually pretty neat to listen to. So, if you're interested, we'll
Any
let you know.
specific
It does sound
legislation
interesting.
you're watching in this
Should be
session?
terribly paranoid, like, oh no, this will be evidence.
Yeah, we have, the legislation, we have a long list that WAPA is keeping track of. So, yeah, there's a lot of discussion amongst the prosecutors about it. Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, thank
All
you.
right. Yeah,
Well, thank you.
We'll go into recess until 10 o'clock. Okay, it's 10 a.m. We're here for our human resources update.
Good morning.
You want to do
Public
our
comment.
open forum for public comment, 5-minute limit, human resources related topics only. Caitlin, do we have anybody online?
Hello, yes, you have 3 attendees. Emily and Carrie are online. They do not have any public comment. We have an iPhone guest. I've given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment for human resources related topics.
Okay. We have nobody in the audience, so we don't have any public comment in our room, so we'll move on.
Okay, thank you. Item number 2, labor relations. I don't have any updates for you today. Item number 3, I don't have anything. Item number 4, Tom has requested an executive session.
You are fast on this
Disciplinary
topic.
matters.
Okay.
How long?
5 minutes.
Kevin, do you want me to fill out the form or?
Okay, so 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go into executive session at 10:02 for disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.110(1)F. Coming out at 10:07.
Sure, as soon as we hit 10:02.
Do you want me to fill out the form?
Okay, I got
Oh,
it.
you got it, okay. Kevin can microtask, or whatever it's called, multitask.
Starting to see if I
Multitasking.
can figure it out.
Microtask, multitask.
We're coming out of executive session, it's 10:07, and no decisions were made.
Oh, yeah, she's headed this way. Okay, item number 5. Topic of the day, hiring freeze. Last week, for the 3rd time, I was given what I thought was clear direction that all positions, non-exempt or non-current expense and current expense, to come to PMR doing the PMR process for said positions if departments needed to backfill and or new positions. We in HR have been getting a lot of pushback from offices, a lot of going around to other people, to commissioners, maybe even Tom has heard it, that this has caused people angst. So I am willing to do whatever the board would like me to do.
I'd
So
like,
did you say current expense and
Current,
non-current
yes.
expense? So all, even non-current expense are in the
That was the direction I
Okay.
was given
Yeah,
3
That-
times.
That was the discussion at budget. So what I'd like to do is suggest sending out an all Grant County email so that everybody knows, either that or all elected official or what have you, explaining that due to cash flow constraints or the worries about the 2026, 2027 budget, all positions, regardless of status, meaning it's vacant, has to be backfilled, or new positions must go through the PMR process, period. Just period.
Well,
And the only exceptions to that were the prosecuting attorney's office, because they need to get attorneys, and the public defender, who has to sometimes very quickly hire somebody because they've got issues. So those were the only 2 caveats to the hiring policy. And that was my understanding.
That was my understanding as well. And I have it well documented because every time I've asked, I have documented exactly what was told of me. The sheriff's office, there were 2 positions that came up in the last week, and the issue that I was told was, well, it's 2 weeks out. Well, I can't help a holiday, and I can't help that the board went on a jail tour during PMR. So the 26th was the date. No, that's okay. At that point, when I was asked about PMR for the jail tour, I didn't have anything, but then it comes in the day before and it's a 911. Oh my gosh, we have to do this. I get that everybody needs what they need right now or yesterday. Again, I'm happy to do whatever the board would like me to do. You provide direction, I will follow it. Regardless of the animosity that people react with
And I
about
think-
the direction,
And I think,
because I'm fine with that.
I think if we explain that, this is a concern. Again, we took $5 million out of reserves. We have a deep concern over future positions and, the numbers of people we have in Grant County. We're trying to ensure that we do our due diligence and we don't have to lay people off.
Thank you, Tina.
And this is the cost of that. And this is the only way we know to mitigate it, and people have to plan better,
Well, they should have a little more respect for the fact that we're taking care of the entire county's budget, not just an individual budget. So, I don't.
Well, in Michelle's case this morning, she needs that position ASAP. Joey needs a position ASAP. WSU needs a position. They were a little bit better with we needing to wait, but everybody needs what they need right now. So I did resurrect an old form from the last hiring freeze. That was a requirement by the board at that time for your review.
when was this?
The last time you had a hiring freeze with.
2012, 9?
No, I think it's a little earlier than that. It would have been in 19, I think.
Okay.
Jonathan's name's spelled out.
Oh, it
Jonathan.
didn't, it cut off the end. We'll get that fixed. Anyways, so instead of doing the whole PMR presentation, we can bring back this form and use this for backfilling. However, if there are new positions, I would encourage that stays status quo is what it has been.
I agree with you. And I just think this should be, instead of coming through PMRT, I am okay. I don't want to rock the boat, but coming through HR with this form. just
Well,
because-
and either way, I mean, we have PMR scheduled on Monday to review
Typically, yeah.
and then Tuesday for a decision to be made. So either way, it's going to be coming on my agenda.
And I think
But
as long as you qualify it with this, these are for previously funded vacated positions that need to be filled, not new positions.
Correct. Yeah, and I
Right.
think this is, agreed.
Otherwise, people will.
Because
try
I
and
feel like we
manipulate.
have a few that are, yeah, they've already been done, and there's an opportunity to say, hey, can you wait 3 months or 6 months? Is this a critical position? But it feels like some of ours have been
Well,
critical.
And I think the board needs to define what critical is, because what's critical to the board may not be the same as a department head or an elected who thinks that their position is critical.
So do you feel like you would want the elected official or department head in, or do you feel that you would be able to answer whether it's a critical position or not? Would you want the?
Well, I want the department head or elected to say whether it's
Okay.
critical and why.
Mhm.
You know, why is it critical? And then the board decides. I can give my opinion on what I think, but really then the board decides whether it is critical and needs to be backfilled ASAP, or if it can.
No, I do like this. And I think that it would kind of save a week or two through PMRT and then it could come to us. But I really would like your comments on it.
But PMR doesn't take 2 weeks. It's
Yeah, it was-
Monday
Well,
and then Tuesday.
Monday.
if that's how it would work.
It's 2
but
days.
If it works on PMRT, great. If it's, I would say the first available, because this week we don't have PMRT, but it's a little too late to do this.
Yeah.
So next week if it gets through PMRT. But I don't feel like, because Susie says, or not Susie, Michelle said something about doing a presentation. I don't know if it exists, since they're in existing, I am
We have-
okay with this simple
Yeah,
form.
we have the PMR template that we asked, that the board wanted to see, to have them fill out. And really it is, what is the business reason? Why is this, in this case, it would be, why is it a critical position for this department? Is the department or office going to cease to serve clients or citizens if that position isn't backfilled? Is the sky falling if this position isn't filled? To me, that's critical.
Well,
You know,
and I
what
would
is,
put hiring freeze for existing position. I would add existing position, and there is nothing changed, because if this position is gonna be changed from, well, we're gonna change this position from payroll to, you know.
It's something that delineates it.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's exact same position, they're just filling in. But I would say, yeah, exception to the hiring freeze form, existing position.
Because really, it should have no impact on the budget, right?
Right.
Because it was already funded, so
Exactly.
there should be a zero impact.
and I will also add on section 2, where it says documentation from hiring manager. I will ask, what, is this a critical position? And if so, why or how? Or is the board okay with that?
Yes.
And, you know, if they put in that position and then at the very end, they say, oh, and by the way, it needs to be this band and step, and it's out of line with what that vacant
Then
position
it needs
is.
to go to PMRT.
Okay, now it has to go to PMR.
Yeah. Okay, I will make those adjustments.
Did you
Anything?
know that's coming?
Yes, it will.
But I would say any change would need to go through for sure PMRT, but if it's the exact same,
All reclassifications need to go through PMR.
the same, and then maybe we can simplify it just a bit. Give it a Girl Scout effort to do it.
So since we do have 3 positions out there, I will go over them without any documentation, but and then the board can direct me on whether you want to make a decision today or whether you want them to come back next week. So again, the auditors, the accounting clerk, they have received a notice of resignation. He is moving department, so the county's not losing him. He's just going to a different department. The auditor, as you heard, is desperate to fill said position. Is the board prepared to make a decision on whether we forego the hiring freeze for that position?
I think yes, we need to move forward on that position.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean,
Sheriff's office, they have requested that we post, and we have posted for corrections.
I'm waiting for the department to do the position.
Oh, okay, 2 posts. So once that is done, we are going to post. The sheriff has a register he can be interviewing from, just to give you that insight. So they have candidates who have been ready for the interview process for the sheriff, but we will post it and collect more applications. And so we will have a continuing register. So you know that one, he wouldn't, because that was, I consider that kind of an ongoing hire from 25, that register, then I didn't see any reason to bring it forward on the hiring freeze because anything that was currently being recruited for in December of 25, we've just rolled over and continued to fill. And then WSU, he is requesting, thought I printed it out. Second, he is requesting to, what did I do with it? Oh, it's right in front of me. Oh my gosh. To hire in 2025, Andy came and requested that the position be reclassified to a part-time. That was done after that the current employee had resigned and left. That adjustment was made. He is now asking to fill that position.
The part-time position?
The part-time, yes, the part-time position. He didn't recruit for it before the end of the year, so that's why it's coming forward in this manner. So his request is the office workload of our secretaries have decreased over the past several years. This is why we changed the position to part-time in 2025. The secretary who previously held this position was full-time and now resigned, and it was turned to a part-time position in September. He says we need to fill the secretary's position to handle much of the 4-H youth program responsibilities, including online club membership management and many tasks related to the entries and activities of Grant County Fair. In addition, our 4-H coordinator has several special projects to enhance youth programs that would not be possible without filling this position. Without this position, the 4-H youth program would be hindered, as would the 4-H youth activities at the fair. Again, it's not a new position. It'll be part-time. Our 2026 budget was reduced to reflect the changes of the position from full-time to part-time. We want to start the position with 24 hours a week, 25 hours a week to see if it works as a part-time position.
I mean, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. That's what I have for those for PMR. Number 6, budget, finance, and compensation. Blair had asked me to ask the board since I was seeing you. He is ordering a scanner for, what is the program?
Laserfish.
Thank you for Laserfish. Did you want him to use the historic fund out of BOCC? Because I think you have a historic preservation fund as well as Michelle has a historic preservation fund, or is it one fund?
No, Michelle's is the auditor O&M. And so
Okay.
the historic preservation fund, as long as it's historic documents or things that we have to keep, we can use that historic fund.
Okay, so
that's
through
where it would come.
through the commissioners, then that account. Okay, I will let him know.
Out of curiosity, has Blair checked with GCTS to see if they have any?
Yes. Yeah, they didn't have any.
And I believe Mandy did put money in the budget from the
For
historic
that.
preservation fund, so we can use that.
Yep. It was lots of discussion about it, but he just wanted the clarification of whether it was coming out of the BOCC's fund or the auditor's fund. And then the court administrators, through compensation connections, through the process with our 3 court administrators, the disparity of wage between the 3 of them has come up. And so through compensation, we really need to know what the board's intent is so we can provide direction. The youth services court administrator is at a higher band than the other 2 court administrators. The board chose to do that based on that district court and superior court administrators don't make the final decision, that the judges have that final decision. Technically, for youth services, they fall under superior court, but at some point the board took on the responsibility to manage that department. But I think legally, statutorily, it still falls under superior court. So my question to the board is that position at youth services do you consider it a position that has the end say? Or does that fall back onto the court, to the judges?
And we do have new judges, all new judges now, so we could probably revisit that to see if they do want youth services to report to them. But before, they were just busy doing their own court stuff.
Yeah.
And they really didn't have the time to provide oversight. So the department head is basically acting as a department head. I mean, we have updates, Tom will have updates, but that department head does not report really, other than the commissioners, to an elected official. They're not, at the end of the day, they don't visit with their elected official, or they are kind of a standalone department head.
Okay. So then let me reiterate. So I hear that, and Kevin, you can weigh in too before I say something if you'd like.
Well, I guess my question would be, is that youth services court person, she been here longer, or have they been longer than anybody else? Is that the reason why it's differently?
No, it was just based on who they report to and who makes that final decision. So when we think about a department head, is they can hire, fire, discipline, they can have all their liability and responsibility to make those decisions. In superior and district court, the administrators may have insight and input, but ultimately it's going to fall on the presiding judge to make the final decisions. So that was really my understanding was the difference between youth services court administrator versus district and superior court administrator. Is that?
So basically that department head would have the ability to hire or fire, working with HR. And the others do not have the ability to hire or fire because they have an elected official that runs the day-to-day, runs their office, and they will handle the day-to-day function.
When did it get moved out from under the Superior Court judges to the LCC?
2000, we had a large lawsuit that was looming, maybe 12, 14, 2000.
And this has come up because Compensation Connections has revised job descriptions and they put positions in job series. So if there is an administrative assistant across all the county, it's one job description because they essentially do all the same functions minus a few. Court administrators one that all of their job descriptions will be the same, except one gets paid a lot more. And so that's in essence what we're trying to tackle is how do we explain the wage disparity so that it's equitable. And then when you backfill that position, does it remain a department head or would you make it equal to the others?
It's always been a department head since Warren Swanson was there. Warren left and then. But if Superior Court would like to take over the duties of that and they can report directly, but that really is kind of a mess. So that's why the commissioners took it over. They just didn't have the time to meet with them and handle it. So I guess we could have a meeting with our new.
So who would initiate that meeting?
The BOCC. We can have Caitlin set something up.
Okay.
Caitlin,
Yes.
do you mind setting up a meeting with one of the presiding judge and asking them? It will be about if they want to take over the duties of youth services or leave them as is.
Yes, I will reach out.
Okay. And I don't know if we changed the name, you know, if that's just a name that it has to be in there, or we actually changed the name as a department head.
Well, and I don't think it's the title that's the issue, it's the duties,
Yeah, because they all have the same responsibilities, I'm assuming.
essentially.
Essentially,
Except
yeah.
one is considered a department head and the others are not, because they don't have that title.
Is there any difference between, probably not, I'm just throwing it out there. Any difference between the duties when you're talking about adults versus juveniles? Is there extra administrative burden with youth services when dealing with juveniles? And
I would say no, because the duties essentially are the same. The process might look different. They might have to go somewhere else instead of here. They might have to file an extra piece of paperwork. But I think the essential duties
that's
are
fair, I'm
the
just curious.
same. Yeah,
But it's
just
open
a different-
24/7.
Well,
So is our jail.
yeah, and district court, superior court, they have like a holiday where they all come in to provide court services, so it's essentially all the same.
Well, we will wait until the board can
But
meet.
it is, yeah, we kind of,
Should we at least let Suhail know that, and make sure she's invited to that meeting as well, so she knows what's coming?
I'm including her on the email.
Okay,
well,
thank you.
yeah, and it's just if they want to take over,
Because if they did,
because they are supposed to take the oversight and they just transferred it over to the BOCC.
so that's the next question when you talk about compensation connections. Okay, so let's say the judges say, yes, we want to take it over, and now all of a sudden she's no longer a department head. Does she lose where she is in her banner step? Does she get demoted?
Well, like in our office, we have frozen the salary, so I don't know what we typically do. Sometimes we're rolling back.
I would think that it would be, she would just be frozen where she's at
But
until
we do need
the other
to
two catch up with.
make sure we treat every,
Yeah, and I think that the other two court administrator look at that and feel that.
So is it a
inequity.
large disparity? How long is it going to take the other two court administrators to catch up?
So Hill's at a band 22,
And
and the
they're-
other two are at a band 19.
19 or 20. 19.
well, but you also, I mean, again, she has a hiring, firing.
No, I understand,
She has,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, no,
I'm just
she-
throwing it all out there, right? So now you've frozen
because
her.
that would be us, that we are interviewing, we
So
are
now,
hiring.
so now I'm gonna ask you to put the other shoe on. So you're Desiree. And now you know that Kevin has kind of been demoted, right? He's no longer his own department head and his wage has been frozen. But he's still getting that wage and now our duties really haven't changed. How come you're not promoted to that same wage scale?
Well, the duties are gonna have to be changed, so Swahil will not be hiring and firing and dealing with disciplinary matters. Somebody else will be doing them. So if that is taken away, or she'll be helping with them. But if she's still doing the hiring, firing, disciplinary matters, you know, acting as a department head, she needs to be paid as a department head. And there is a difference between, you know, like we have our clerks that are kind of working, I guess, as department heads because they're running the office. But at the end of the day, they're not the ones hiring, firing, doing the disciplinary, doing the last call.
So,
And sorry, I don't mean to
No,
stop your
that's okay.
train of thought, but that's what Compensation Connections is also going to help us with,
Yeah.
because we've evaluated the job descriptions,
Right.
and that is one of the benchmark positions that potentially the
Yeah.
company will move forward with.
I'm just,
So we will be able to see what at market they should be, and then it would be up to the commissioners to to determine which wage fits for that.
I'm just trying to make sure that we don't create animosity somewhere else. right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
No, and I think just,
and I think we wait for the recommendation of Compensation Connections to see where they should be placed, if the duties are essentially the same.
Yeah, so they'll be interviewing each person, is that how that's gonna work? Or-
So the job description portion has already been completed. Suhail has done her job description review. I know Crystal has done her job description review. And so those have been turned over to Compensation Connections. The next phase of the project is to go out to market using those revised job descriptions. And they're gonna put together
Recommendation.
a recommendation on where to place them. So that's where we will address that. But to Tom's point, there will be, you know, anytime you make a change, there's gonna be feelings involved. So we just have to do
well,
it
especially
right.
if all we effectively do is change the reporting requirement, right? None of her duties change. She's just now reporting to a judge instead of the
Well, but the judge would have to be doing the hiring and fire. I mean, the judge would have to actively
That's the
take
ultimate
part
decision.
and, really be in the office. And they just didn't want to. And that's why they have a department head over there. So you do have a judge that works with district court, superior court, in their offices.
And they are involved in the day-to-day operations per GR 29, per all of the stuff that they cite, which is why they aren't considered department heads historically, is they don't have that final authority. There's always somebody that could override.
They're more of like an office manager.
I just know that question will come from both Crystal and Desiree.
It will.
Well, and it always has, and
Just
there are definitely
just
more
have the
job
answer
duties.
ready.
Yeah,
right?
no,
Just
there are
have the answer
definitely more
ready.
job duties.
Mhm.
And guess Hill doesn't have the luxury of calling the board at, Saturday night and say, hey, I'm gone. Can you make sure this juvenile is housed or, she takes care of it? We don't.
Item number 7, I don't have any updates today. Item 8, benefits, I don't have any updates. Item 9, I do have the 500 series completed versions ready for your signature or initial. If you are prepared to do that, I sent it out December. December for your final review, late December or mid-December. And then I have the 600 series in draft form that I sent December 12th for your review. Are you prepared to sign? Do you have questions about any of the 500? We can start with the 500 series.
Yeah, I didn't have any questions on that one.
Do us to sign it without Rob?
Yes, I think it's fine. So just, oh, you're the chair, sorry.
Kevin's the most important person in this room.
So again, that is the final version that will be used as policy. We are posting those on our website as they're coming through now, so that's final. And then the next grouping is the 600 series, and this is just a draft for you. It still needs to go through the labor union process, the first 7 of the 600 series. And that's just an initial that you're good with you moving forward with the union. And I will be sending the next onslaught of 600 series for you. A lot of policies, we're getting through them though.
How many more do you have of these?
We have
Number 8.
in the 600 series, yeah. 600 series, well, we have several more in the 600 series. That's really our biggest series. And then we have a 700 series, which is,
I should have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
no, it only goes up to 800. Yeah. Which the last one is procurement, which
Oh boy, time to change that up.
we will need that
Yeah,
updated from you.
that's going to take some doing, especially there's now currently legislation out there that is changing the procurement limitations for counties and cities again, to when you do or don't have to go out to bid. And nobody's really sure why this got pushed so hard, but it was pre-filed and they're trying to fast track it. Interestingly, some cities are being given a much higher limit than counties are, which doesn't make any sense. And some counties,
Their legislature is pushing for it.
some counties don't have a limit.
Weird.
Some counties can do whatever they want.
Hey, I'm just looking at this
Okay, so
Baldridge
this is 7.
conference, the Malcolm
I
Baldridge
got up to
National.
7 on that one.
Which one?
quality conference. They do have, the conference features sessions that some of the leaders will be, the recipients and leaders will be performing. So it does sound like it's the learning, yeah, I mean, there's sessions with some of the sessions being the key leaders that are being recognized. So it's an educational event, a training. But we will get more on that.
I would ask specifics,
Okay.
just so you can feel good about it.
Absolutely. But you know me, I always.
So will the board be asking specifics or will you be asking specifics?
I'm sure we'll both be asking.
On consent for the board now.
Oh, it's on consent, okay. I missed that part, I guess. Yeah. Okay, and that is what I have for my agenda. Does the board have anything in particular that they would like to discuss?
Not yet, but I'm sure we will.
There'll be more to come.
More to come.
Always.
Always is.
Revolving door.
Okay, well, thank you for your time today.
Thank
All right, thank you. For your going into recess, it's 10:39, we'll be back at 11.
Read that
Okay,
one.
it's 11 o'clock.
That's
We're
that
gonna
place in Memphis
Start
that
a
blew you
commissioners
away.
meeting, call the meeting to order. Open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. Jerome, do you have any comments?
I do. So my comment is about item 22 on your agenda today. Probably a year and a half ago, when Dell Anderson first started his quest for excellence training or whatever, I objected to it based on the cost. At that time, it was, I remember, $3,000 plus. Had to make a couple other trips. And when I see it now, where he's requesting 38,000 to take 10 people along, or 9 people along for a total of 10 people, doesn't make sense to me. It's totally outrageous that someone would do that. And the first part of his journey to excellence was on a grant. I mean, they made that really apparent, but this, it appears it's all on our dime, the taxpayers' dime. Well, it was taxpayers' dime before, but this time it's our county's taxpayers. They're paying for 9 people to go along. And what I've been able to gather by watching your meetings and stuff is potentially the people that are attending are there to just see him graduate. Maybe attend a little sidebar or something, but not anything that's really germane to the training that he said. And I'm wondering if there's anything that can be done about it. I know you were in thought about it and discussions of if there's any way that can be quashed or maybe looked at a little closer. I think it'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah, I believe we intend to talk to Bill about it.
Okay,
That's the plan.
thank you very much.
A little more information. Thanks, Jerome.
Thank you, Jerome, for
Caitlin,
reviewing the budget as well, or the activity.
Caitlin, do we have anybody online?
Yes, sir. You have 4 attendees. Emily and Carrie are online. You have an iPhone guest, and Commissioner Kevin Overbay is also online to talk about the funding request that he had emailed Commissioner Carter about.
Okay.
I've given our iPhone guest and Commissioner Overbay the ability to unmute.
Kevin, thank you for joining us. This is about releasing is it like $250,000? Rob is not here. Rob actually requested a meeting with Commissioner Overbay so that we could sign up for the study that Dell talked to us about connections. Kevin, can you remind me, Commissioner Overbay?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, so basically as you recall, we've been doing a work group for a regional diversion facility for mental health treatment for folks within the region, both the 4-county area, Okanagan, Grant, Chelan, and Douglas, for about a little over 5 years now. We've had a work group together over 9 different disciplines. Dell Anderson is actually a part of the work group and has been almost since its inception. And of course, we've done scopes of work over the last 5 years to make sure that we have a good foundational base in place. We've done a couple of sequential intercept model mapping workshops. We've been working with connections out of Arizona, and we've kind of gotten to the point now where we need to move to the next step, which is basically identifying a location and then basically looking at where a facility can be sited, the requirements that it's going to be needed, and so forth. And that's going to be roughly about between 750,000 and $1 million worth of work to be done. What we have looked at is we have looked at the One Washington MOU with regards to the opioid abatement dollars. And what I have done is I have requested from each one of the counties an opportunity to utilize that opioid abatement funding, which a diversion facility is a qualified use of those funds, that if the counties would each fund up to $250,000 for that scope of work. We currently have a subcommittee as a part of the work group that Dell is also a part of, as well as Commissioner Carter, and that is the RFP, request for proposal work group, where we are actually have a draft request for proposal to provide core services that include crisis de-escalation, psychiatric and clinical assessment, medication management, therapeutic intervention, case management, and peer support. We've been working on the elements of prevention leading up to this and the reintegration of folks back into the community. The one thing that we are lacking for the region right now is a place for people to go. And so this is the scope of work that we will be looking at out of this. We do have a interlocal agreement that was signed by all 4 counties that share in funding for the past work that's been done. That was actually signed in the first part of 25. That's good for 4 years. And so basically this would be a part of that funding mechanism as part of that interlocal to come together to basically fund this request for proposal to get these next levels of scope of work done to get us eventually to a facility. There's 2 phases to this. The first one is the identifying the right location based upon workforce, based upon either available facilities and or opportunity for new facility. And then the second scope of work is actually operations of a facility. What we're focusing on right now is the first scope of work, which is the identification within the region, and then basically the siting of the facility with all the way to the point of potential build out. So anyway, I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has regarding this.
I guess my question would be is who would operate the facility once it's built?
So what we're looking at is putting together a governance structure made up of all 4 entities. And they would actually oversee that. The RFP award recipient would actually be the one that would be operating the facility at least for the first 3 to 5 years. And basically under the governance structure of the 4 counties.
And we're a regional, we have a region for like behavioral health, so it's within our region, this region that's set up with the state, the counties.
Yeah, so
if I can, this is Tom Gaines, the administrator here at Grand County.
Yes.
You said you're seeking $250,000 from each county. Is that for this? So is this $1 million study, or is it a total of $250,000?
It's a $1 million study. Basically, the scope of work will probably take about 18 months to get this level of work done. At which point, then each entity will then basically need to take a look at how they want to proceed from that point. We've got a commitment from Douglas County, Chelan County, and I believe Okanagan County at this time. So 3 of the 4 counties. Grant County is the last partner that's in this right now that we're looking to get the commitment from. We don't know if it will exceed $1 million. Basically, that's why we're putting out for the RFP process. But at least we have that funding that's set there that it would not exceed that amount.
Is Chelan County the publisher of the RFP, and is all of the scoring and discussion and everything about the RFP being done there, or is it that team, your regional
We have a team, so everybody that, each county is represented in that.
Okay.
So Dell is kind of probably the biggest user of Grant County. So
Yeah, Dell is actually part of the RFP team as well. So the development of the RFP, we have 11 members that are currently developing the RFP to make sure that we don't miss anything, that we leave no stone unturned. And then what we will be doing is we'll actually also be putting together a scoring matrix team for their recommendation. And so it will be made up. We intentionally have our 9 different disciplines that anywhere from law enforcement to the courts to service providers to government entities. But it covers 9 corrections. It covers 9 different disciplines that deal in this particular arena. And we made sure that we had representation equally from all 4 of the counties to make sure that every county had adequate representative and equal voice in the processes moving forward. In the ILA that we signed last year for these scopes of work, Chelan County has been the fiscal agent, and that can be changed by a vote of the group. So Chelan County would be the fiscal agent and the contract manager on this, but again, it's a governance board that would actually be looking at, and this work group that's overseeing the scopes of work that are going to be done. There will actually be a subcommittee made up to oversee the scope of work that will probably be similar in nature to the RFP subcommittee that is developing the RFP, as well as a separate committee will actually be formed to do all the scoring matrix and then make recommendation.
So in the RFP process, and forgive me if some of this has already been hashed out and I'm just unaware, will they be looking and doing like a cost benefit analysis of looking at existing facilities within the 4 counties or the county where it's best suited, or are they looking at building a new facility for this? Is that part of this RFP process where they'll make that determination at the conclusion?
Yes, that's part of phase 1. So what they'll be looking at is they'll be looking at workforce availability. They'll be looking at the financial analysis with regards to, is it better to have an existing facility or build a new facility? And that is all part of this initial scope of work in this RFP.
Thanks. Hopefully they'll look at our work rules.
Any questions? Well, and I think Commissioner Jones was one who wanted Commissioner Overbay to answer some questions, and we have actually vetted Dell. Dell has talked to us about this, so we just need to make a decision, yes or no, if we're going to move forward on this, because we've been like.
Maybe I'm going to say something stupid, but it seems to me that this was already approved a few months ago, and this was.
I believe it was, but Commissioner Jones did not want to move forward until we talked to Commissioner Overbay.
Gotcha.
So we have a holdup, so we need to move forward on it, and.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got the opioid funding for this.
And I'm not sure if it was, totally approved, but I think we're all in agreement to move forward on it.
Yeah, I just remember that discussion being had for some time, so.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't recall if we have taken action on it, so we probably need to take action on it next week.
Caitlin, can you add that to our agenda?
Consent agenda for next week. Thank you.
Yes.
For
Yes,
joining
thank you.
us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. And if Commissioner Jones has any questions, feel free to let him give me a call. I'm happy to answer it one-on-one with him over a phone call.
Okay.
Okay. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for joining us. I know you're busy.
Yep. Thank you. I'm going to get back to my session now.
Okay. Thank you.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Be great if they looked at our work.
Yeah, the abatement fund, I believe those finances are held. Actually, Chelan County is also the fiscal agent for those.
As soon as we're done using it as a coroner's office.
Well, I do think we have some, yeah.
Good. I guess we just needed the approval of the agenda.
I just had a question. I didn't realize Jim Anderson Cook is going to the NACO. He's traveling with the group then, it looks like.
That was a request from Commissioner Jones. Actually, Commissioner Jones had wanted a number of folks to go, but I don't know that they're available. We are combining meetings while we're there. We are meeting with, I believe it's the Conservancy District, Moses Lake Irrigation District, I believe is there. Port of Moses Lake, Dan Roach, and others are there. And we are outside of our normal NACO and WASAC meetings, meeting with them. And discussing opportunities, I believe.
Okay, well, if it's a meeting, you need to make sure that if you have 2 commissioners in a meeting, it is a meeting. So you need to make sure all those meetings have a clerk to take notes.
But that was part of the point of having them go. So.
All right. If that was my only question. Are we to the point?
Just need a motion to approve.
Okay, we've already done the emails and everything. Are we down to the, sorry.
We are at the approval of the agenda.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the agenda.
Any other discussion? I'll second that. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve has been accepted, passed.
I have,
Correspondence, emails received, need response, letters of support, etc.
I'm trying to chip away at mine, so I'm not sure if I do, but this time I don't.
Caitlin, did we have some emails last week that,
Yes, I forwarded you guys a couple emails. There is one going back and forth with the EDC about a water project out in George. It keeps getting sent to your realtor email address, sir, and so I keep forwarding it to your commissioner's one. I do also have a roundtable topic when we get there.
Okay, I believe tonight they had a George, City of George meeting to do kind of the presentation of that study. And I believe they were looking at some SIP funds, so that water will take some of the wastewater from the Gorge Amphitheater. The City of George just can't handle, if the Gorge were to pull away from that. But we do need something that is more sustainable than a bunch of portable bathrooms. So, and there's also with the Department of Ecology, they are no longer allowing, like every orchard, every farmer has to have porta potties. And cities, counties will not take the waste from those. So they're not, we're kind of in a situation where George would be able to, they would be able to use that facility. So it's kind of would not just be for the area, but would be used countywide.
are they increasing the size of it? Is that what they're gonna do, or do they even have?
No, well, the City of George would have to, and they just don't really, I mean, as long as they had, the customer base as the Gorge, they would be able to sustain it. But if the Gorge were to pull back, but the Gorge cannot get funding, they can't really put in a large public sewage plant like a municipality can. And the county does not do, we don't do utilities.
Does a waste treatment plant know, like when Basin Septic goes out to the fairgrounds and they pump out all of our tanks and they help us out, I mean, they then turn around and go to.
Currently, I believe Basin has their own.
Basin has a piece of property that they take out.
Oh.
They have to take it off the property. They put it on the property and then I don't know if it's monthly, weekly, but then they have to disc it under and then they move over to another.
But it should go to Lagoon first. I believe it has to go to Lagoon first. There's quite a process, but the Department of Ecology is pulling all of those applications. They are no longer renewing them. So if you have a new business, so you would have to, it's getting difficult. And then you have these forever chemicals now that they will be dealing with, or if they have put them on a piece of ground, they are forever. So they are liable forever for any chemicals that can be found on the grounds. Quite a mess. So that's what it's about, kind of hopefully it would be something to fix all.
So they're looking for funding. Is that?
Well, they're looking for like a project, yes, and then to get funding. So I think if they haven't, I thought they applied for something for SIP.
Right, yeah, I think they did.
I think that's just for the study, but they're gonna do the study and then they have to go for probably state and federal funding to do this, but because they're a municipality and a septic, that they actually can get funding where a private cannot.
Can we talk more about this offline as I continue discussions with Merchant McIntyre? There might be opportunity for federal funding to be given to one of the local municipalities down there, and I can get those guys hooked up. So those discussions have been fruitful, by the way, between Merchant McIntyre, myself, City of Moses Lake, others. And we're discussing some of those things like the West 20 Canal project. I'm sure we're going to talk about the Hanson Road project, even though it's a DOT thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're discussing all of that stuff while we're in DC meeting with Newhouse. So there might be some opportunity there.
Yep. Okay, so that's all I have.
I have for the roundtable discussion, Commissioner Jones reached out asking if you two would be available on Thursday at 2 p.m. for the Stoke tour. He said it would take about 2 hours. This Thursday, sorry.
I would love to go on that. I'll trade a Stoke tour for a jail tour.
What time is he thinking?
2:00. That should work.
Yeah, I think I'll be all right.
Okay, I will let him know, and I believe he is working on getting that all arranged. There is also a bullet under roundtable about the Legislative Steering Committee Olympia meetings. The GSA rates for hotels, as you guys know, is lower than what you would probably actually be able to find. It's $151 per night for Olympia. Rob is having trouble finding hotel rooms that are near where the meetings take place that are even remotely close to that GSA rate. He had asked me to add it to the conversation this week for him to discuss with you guys, but now he is not here. So I'll be moving it to discussion next week. I believe he was intending on asking the other you two if you would be all right with him spending over that amount.
They have
Before
government
moving it, typically, this has been an ongoing issue, not just for counties, for every local government. The GSA rates typically do not, while the meal M&IE rates are typically commensurate with whatever the area is, the hotel rates never are. Historically, here at the county, it's always, as long as we get the government rate, then it's been acceptable to the auditor. If we can't get the government rate, then we start to say, well, how come we can't get the government rate and where can we go elsewhere? So typically the government rate has been fine. As long as we can document that we received the government.
Well, I'm
rate
looking at the
hotel.
Hilton Garden Inn, Olympia, Doubletree, Olympia Downtown, 138, 110. So yeah, I think you just have to put in government rate in that.
Yeah, the problem with it that I found is there's so many people in Olympia during session.
Yeah.
You can't get a hotel. You have to go outside of Olympia to get a hotel. You might be driving.
Usually
5 or
Lacey.
6
Or you
miles.
needed to have booked your room months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I stayed with friends because I couldn't find a room.
Yeah.
Lacey will have
I
something.
I would think it would be acceptable as long as he was asking and could document that he received the government rate. That's what we have done historically. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and I think last year they reimbursed me because I did do the same thing. It was like 179 a night or whatever, but
Yeah, I think doesn't Wasac pay for that? Or does the county?
I think the county paid for it.
Well, the county, yeah, and it depends on where you go. Our DC trip, for instance, the hotel we're staying at has a government rate of $270 a night. The normal rate is $700. Yeah.
You stay at the Holiday Inn?
So it's a Marriott. The holiday. So here's the weird thing about the legislative conference in DC. It's held at the Hilton, Washington, DC. You can't get a room there. NACO controls all the housing. NACO has its own housing office. The minute you register, you go there and say, I need to get a room at the hotel, it's booked. Well, you just opened it. How can that room block? So you're immediately out to the partner hotels. And that's how it was last year too.
A lot of people attend.
Yeah.
But all of them should have the
A government
NACO rate.
They
Well,
have
they'll
some
the
government
NACO
rate.
NACO rate.
Okay, I guess I'm being informed that this closes at 11:30 and we have a insurance coming in at 11:30, so
it's roundtable.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through 26, holding number 22, the out-of-state travel for renew until next week.
So how should I?
So we're approving,
We're gonna approve the consent agenda, holding item number 22, and till next week. More discussion.
Did you second it?
Oh, sorry. I'll second that. Sorry. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And Caitlin, we just need to, I just want to make sure, Dell, that we are actually, they're offering trainings when they go there, because it's a lot of money for that, for all the individuals to attend this conference. So I'm just trying to do my homework on it. And it appears that there is some, but just want more information.
I will reach out to him.
All right. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thanks for taking a closer look at that. Appreciate it.
Oh, we have been looking into that, so thank you.
Sit on the other side and I'll gather it all and take it up. Yeah, the normal rate for that hotel, I think it's like 700 or 600 or something like that, and depending on where you're going. Some of them were even more than that. I'll just make sure it stays in there. I hope you don't think I'm disagreeing with you on a lot of this. I'm just trying to make sure we're efficient, like on the travel.
No.
Commissioners, Susie Fody is online and she has her hand raised. Would you like me to give her permissions to speak?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hi, Susie.
Good morning. I am like thrilled that you guys are talking about this government rate issue. We have sometimes a scenario where even if we find a hotel that is a couple dollars over the government rate, our grants will not reimburse it because the receipt shows $153 and the government rate is $151. And we even I'll pay $2 out of my own money. So in a couple situations, we have asked the hotel to write a custom receipt for us, and they've done that. Even when the government rate, because they only hold a few rooms that are at government rate, and then when they're sold out of those, you get put at the regular rate, even if you can prove you're a government employee. So I'm glad we're having some discussion around this. And I don't know that it'll end up helping my program much because we have to have receipts that show a government rate. So I don't know. It's just a tip we do. We try to negotiate with the hotel.
Okay, well, thank you, Susie. I was telling, I had commenting today, we don't know there's a problem until there is one.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too, Susie.
That's been a strange disparity in the GSA rates. They just don't reflect hotel rates. The M&IE is typically good, wherever you go, but
They seem to update the fuel or
Yeah.
the mileage part of it, and they haven't. seem to
Well, I
update
think
the-
hotels are okay until there's something going on, then the hotels, I think, just
Yeah.
automatically do an increase. Oh, it's going out of room. Right, there's some prices. Some Washington DC. Yeah.
Oh, I was having, last time we were there, it's the original post office in the country, and it's now a hotel. And then they've got some suites there, and I was just curious what the cost was. So you go and try and book one, $1,400 a night. But that's nuts. Yeah. Who spends that?
They should have less people spending on it. They would charge that, right?
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Hi. Hi, Cindy. Morning, Kevin. Hi, Tom. All right. I'm well. How are you? Thank you.
Tom's our afternoon today.
I'm taking care of Caitlin.
Oh, that's good.
Once this is all done, I'm gonna shuffle it like a deck of cards.
No, I keep everything in order. Don't do that. Caitlin, they were all in order when I handed them to Tom.
Yeah. Just start pulling them out or mixing them up. This one goes here, this one goes here. Caitlin gets to figure out which one goes where.
Marla comes out and make sure.
I am not responsible for that because I don't want Barb.
I'll go back there in just a second.
Okay, I'll stand then.
We're gonna move. One moment. We have so many things to sign. I did jump in for a minute, and then like, jump back out. Like we, and now like New York resolutions to me, you know, you can't start. Feel like the beginning of the year now. We have 25 people. Some of the originals, some were added later.
Hopefully we'll have fun.
Hey, great. I believe.
Can you sign me
We
that?
had
Search
some
protector
others.
under you?
We had, it was pretty warm, wasn't it like 50 or 60?
Yeah, it was 50. Yeah, we did have some warmer weather. Now it's finally getting cold, which we really, really need. But you'd rather have the cold weather to kill all the bugs.
Oh my, the red folder.
This is a hole to turn it a different way. Perpendicular. No, turn it.
Turn it sideways.
Yeah.
I am actually clearing. Yeah.
Kevin's all excited.
I know, I'm like, where is the signature? We all. Sundry last lunch to 3 o'clock. Well done, Kevin. I don't need a second.
Okay, it's 11:32 and we're moving into the WCRG insurance meeting.
Good morning. Report here. It's we're in a new claims year, of course, and so pretty little activity so far to report. But we'll go over this and we'll review last year's again. We'll look at the all open and then we'll go through the 2020, 2021. We do have a little development in one issue that we'll bring to your attention, but this is year-to-date claims that started in December. We filed 2 claims. I think there's another one on there because this was printed January 1st. Yeah. There's no one we filed right at the first year. Okay, so this is it. So far, so good. 2 claims in 2 months, so we're hitting pretty good. One is our fault, one is not our fault. Again, on the ones that aren't our fault, we always seek recovery on that, and we've been fairly successful getting subrogation, though sometimes it's only $100 a week or a month or whatever. But the fact is, we do get those funds returned to us.
Oh, we do have one more. Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was not our fault though.
It's not our fault.
Yep.
The next one is a policy year we just wrapped up, and we noted at the last meeting we trended fairly well, meaning that we were under our average claim count. It was giving us a a total of 38 claims or 36 claims, and we're normally around 44, 40, 45 claims. 2.78, 2.87 right now is what is on the reserve and paid. Of course, there'll be some developments, especially on the litigated claims. The thing I wanted to note was on this particular claim, and we're not online with anybody, are we, Blair?
Yeah, we have 5 people that are attending.
Okay.
2 of them maybe are employees. I'm not sure.
So we did, if you notice on claim number 1709, there was an increase in reserves on that one. Fairly substantial increase on that. So we went into the 7 figures after, and the reserves after that claim was adjusted. That's right in the middle of your page there, the liabilities.
In your general liability.
In your general liability category. So we did expect that one to increase, but that one is what upped the reserves for last year. So we're gonna follow this report out probably for the next 12 months, just to give you updates on that, just to make sure you guys are all aware of everything. And of course, Blair's office is on the front lines of that as well. So questions on the last year's claims? Quite a few open still. So we have to, finish those over and round those out. Those should wrap up. Could be a couple, probably may get some activity on it before the statute runs out, but we're expecting this one to be a pretty good claims year in terms of number of claims.
Claim 1809 in general liability will be closing. We're just waiting for the paperwork. Claim 1762, which is in wrongful acts. As soon as they receive payment for it, that one will be closing as well. So that one's in process right now.
What was it? You said 1809. What was the next one?
1762. That's the Catholic priest claim that the county was involved with all the other counties in Washington State.
Oh, okay.
It has been closed and settled, so we just have to pay our part of the deductible, and once that's done, that one will be closed as well. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that.
Okay, the next one is the all open claims. So you can see we're tracking 35 open claims at the moment. This goes back over 10 years in some circumstances. Right now we're 5.5 million in pending outstanding open claims. All are either litigated or in the open status. There are a few in subrogation. The ones we're watching, of course, are the ones in litigation. Nothing really comes to mind at this point that really is notable about bringing up, though we are watching a couple of the big ones, like the one out in like the 1660 out there at the gorge, and then of course we're watching that 1783 as well. Nope. Kevin, Cindy, any questions on that?
No, don't we have one that's going to trial this month, or was it end of the month?
I think there's some depots coming up.
Okay, is that what it is? I was thinking
Mhm.
it was.
Yeah.
I just have a comment on 2 open accidents. That's where we're at. The first page you gave.
Oh, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, or just for your information. So I met with Ray Towery a couple weeks ago. We were talking about this intersection here.
Right.
We lost one of our flashing crosswalk signs.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned that we might be getting a new roundabout there. And at this location, this First Avenue Northwest and C, the rubberized ones that just fit in a normal intersection.
Right.
He said
that would be helpful because.
I don't know how a school bus would get through it, but it would be helpful.
No, a bit small, because you can't see a lot of cars coming.
No.
So you think like a rubberized roundabout there?
Yeah. Yeah, they're talking about possibly doing something like that. So
that'd be nice.
I would welcome the try, right? See what it does.
Are we getting anywhere and getting our sign recovered from the
Yeah, it's ordered. It's on its way.
Well, yeah, it should be here in a few weeks. So it was ordered, and then the guy that did the paperwork on it quit at Traffic Safety Supply.
Okay.
Didn't tell anybody that we'd ordered it. So when we were following it, that's how we
It's a
found
good
out.
order, right?
So yeah, and so it is ordered. It is on its way, but that's why it's been delayed.
Is there some reason why they won't do a four-way stop there? They just don't want it?
So we're down to actually, since we have a camera that looks at that intersection, we're actually taking screenshots of accidents and sending them to the city, because a lot of the accidents that happen there, the close calls, they're never reported.
Yes.
So when the city looks at the data on the intersection, it doesn't seem as dangerous as it is. But when we start sending videos of people jumping out of the way of cars, which happens regularly,
yes,
myself included, or other accidents that don't really get reported, then it kind of makes it down. So
there's a lot of near misses there too.
there's a ton of near misses there.
A lot of people blow that stop sign.
When people are in the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we get the roundabout. I mean, does it take a simple process or a year and a half planning?
I mean, I have no idea how that works. And so in an intersection like that, you're going to constrain that intersection quite a bit.
It will be.
Oh, for sure you would, yeah. It's also going to eliminate a lot of the bigger heavy truck traffic that would normally bypass the basin, like on us.
That is, I mean, that is the school bus raceway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
every day.
And the kids raceway after school.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And semis that come off the hill, all
Yep.
of the grain trucks that come off the hill, they turn right at the courthouse.
Turn there, yes, I do.
Instead of going straight.
Yep.
So this last report is our policy here that we're monitoring in 2020, 2021. Again, the reason we're monitoring this is because we're approaching the total policy limits here. We're still about 5.2 million away from hitting that, but depending on how some things develop here, that could make an impact on that. So we've got that one, the second from the bottom on the first page, we talked about that one. That's the one we're watching for sure. And then there's on the next page, the second one from the top, 1492, we're watching that one as well. But the rest, those are the really only two that we're really concerned with. And it's really that we're open. So other than that, once we get those claims closed out, then the concern for being close to the policy limit will be alleviated quite a bit. We can't have any new claims filed this policy year now because, it's beyond the statute, which is a good thing. So I think what you see is kind of an accurate reflection. It's just going to determine on how we end up in the judgment of those two claims. Kevin, Tom, anyone?
So how are we looking once these are all dropped off?
Well, this is an old claims reports, but we just keep track of it. So I think to answer your question, you would need to reflect to the all open claims run, which we just looked at,
Right.
the one before. That's kind of what we're watching. So, we've got 35 active open claims plus any new claims that we file this year. So I would say we're trending fairly good right now. Just kind of continuing the last year's trend. What we just don't know about is, what kind of awards or what kind of damages are going to be, determined in these claims. I mean, it's a negotiation argument and, a little bit of consideration to get all this wrapped up, but it's certainly going to take some time to wrap some of these up. The one I'd be watching would be that we talked about earlier. It would be, which one was it?
There's a few of them.
1709.
Yeah, 1709, yeah. That's what I'd kind of just make a mental note of. We're just kind of keep watching that one. All right. Outside of that, I have already begun the process of looking at the markets out there to see what we can bring you for coverages and comparable, packages. Not a lot of excited carriers out there on the national circuit to look at a county. However, we do have a carrier that's somewhat interested. I just have to get them all the details and stuff, and I've got a big summary narrative of Grant County, its claims, its history, its projections, its management style, its budget, all that stuff. So if we can get something together, we'll bring you a package solution. If not, we'll look at every option out there too. So, but it wouldn't hurt to say, if we can come in and save you $1 million on your renewal, that's definitely worth something to talk about.
It certainly is.
That's
appreciate that.
that's early to tell you that, but we're starting early because this is a pretty good sized project. So, but I feel pretty good so far. The discussions I've had with at least 2 carriers.
So I've been stressing over this. We do have money, and this is our insurance. When we add the jail, it's going to be another hit to our insurance.
$698,000, yeah.
But I do believe we have funding in our where did our board go? Our jail new construction is.
You mean in the 117? The 3
Is
tenths
that
of
what it would
1%?
be? Yeah. Can we?
We should, yeah, we should.
I just don't know where else we're gonna.
No,
So I'm thinking, all those, we barely put balanced budget, now we're gonna have another big hit. Okay.
No, you're exactly right. I think that is something that fund should be looked at for, so.
Okay.
Yeah, there's other things we'll look at, but I'm waiting for Leidig. They're putting together some numbers. We're supposed to set up a meeting with all 3 commissioners and the architect, talk
It's not
about.
only, the jail, we also have a new coroner's office. We have some.
We got lots to think about. We have a lot going on.
Sorry, I know it doesn't really pertain to insurance, but I have been.
Well, it is. It's
Thinking about this,
insurance.
like,
It's a big
where
hit.
are
I
we
mean,
gonna hit this?
$700,000. I mean, that's a sizable chunk of money. So yeah, I'm glad we have
I just want to
a fund
confirm.
to take care of that.
That
Yeah.
would be great.
But I mean, you roll that into the current premium. I mean, 6.6 plus, another 7. Yeah, I mean,
We need to be looking at doing something differently, whatever that is.
we're at 7.3, and then renewal expecting, even a couple of percentage of those size of numbers. I mean, we're pushing 8 million.
Well, and we have to start tracking employee count and how that is affected by WCRG and their rates, right? I mean, if we hire 1 more employee or 10 more employees, how does that affect us? Because that's what surprised us this year and caught us off guard.
And that was a big ask to ask them to kind of cap that at a certain number, what's the real risk of adding another person like in a clerk's office? I mean.
Well, worse is as we try and plan the growth of the county or to provide services or what have you, we have to understand that metric. Provide us with something that shows us what this means. And
Yeah, what the cost of, 10 more new
I mean,
employees.
didn't we just do the math, Blair, and it was like $1,203 per employee or something like that on the liability? I mean, it was a large number.
Yeah. But that has to become part of our PMR.
Well, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We've never calculated that in.
So, I mean, as it is, we make every department head come to us and go through a PMR process and explain why a person has to be hired.
Sure.
And that has to now become part of that metric so that we don't get another December surprise.
Absolutely, yeah. So the meeting we had in early January, Wes came in, kind of giving an update. Was there helpful information? Did you feel like you communicated your concerns?
I haven't received the matrix that I asked for.
Okay.
Well, it is
They
nice
probably
that
don't.
they come in and update us.
If I'm honest, if I'd heard that, we don't really have one, I'd have really started drilling down because, well, if you don't have one, then how do you justify that increase based on worker hours? You had to have something that told you that, so.
I don't think they have one.
Well, they better come up with it.
They have something, but I don't know if they have what you're thinking from a matrix.
Yeah. You know what I mean though, right?
I do, for sure, yeah.
But we need it.
So the communication's really good with Claire Riss. They called me right after the meeting, gave me an update. So I'm working both sides really hard, but we've got to have some concessions this year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
One of the exciting factors is if we do add to the county's group, it could, soften, I guess, or spread out the risk a little more if we had like in Cowitz County, for example. I'm working with them right now. So we'll see.
I get it. We're not exactly risk-free. We have a lot,
I got 10 counties right now. I'm
you know, we've
going
got
out.
some baggage where captains.
It's not bad though. I mean, really,
No, but it's not good, but we've had some big ones. No.
other than that one.
Is there a 30,000-foot comparison to other counties? I mean,
Well,
are we average?
the only aspect I would be able to quantify that is with the WRCG.
Yeah.
I don't have the data to the other
Yeah,
program.
we are the biggest county,
By a
and
lot.
we have been, I'm looking at our, kind of the revenues that go through on our monthly meetings. We definitely are a user. I mean, I can see where we're
Yeah, but that's probably compared to the rest of the counties in our.
Just in our
that's
group.
probably
I
apples
don't
to
know.
oranges to
Just
some
in the
extent.
group, because yeah, I mean, you compare yourself to Escamilla County, I mean, you guys are 9 times bigger. You know,
yeah, that employee count killed us.
yeah, I did.
So I think we need to get creative. I don't think we can take another $7 million.
Well, hiring Blair, we got accurate numbers and
Where?
it's
My
good.
bad.
It's good. I mean, we found some things that we needed to clean up, but that was one of the things where, hey, the worker hours are off by 280,000 hours. You know, we didn't know it was going to rocket it that much.
Yeah.
But it certainly was a surprise for us all.
So, yeah, I don't know if we raise our deductible or become
We've
partially
already done
self.
that though. I mean.
Well,
we've
but do
done-
we become partially self-insured up to a point where we have?
Well, that's another strategy, Cindy. You know, if we can find a carrier that would be willing to, you know, pick up the excess and we self-insure, it's essentially taking a higher deductible, but we want to make sure we get a discount for doing that for sure. You know, a credit for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we'll keep you updated, but it's going to be a slow
Because
process.
we can't keep paying, it's just not.
Well, I think you made that pretty clear to Wes because he told me, they made it very clear that, hey, we can't have, you know, these numbers increasing.
Well, we're basically that entire amount we took out of reserve. So our reserve is only so big.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be running out of money here.
You know, and that, the flip side of that is understanding that metric next year, if our revenues and our shortfalls as bad as we think it could be, and we end up like some of these other counties, like Skagit, we got 52 people, Yakima, we got a whole bunch of people. We should see a corresponding reduction in our insurance rates based on that, right? So, I mean, there has to be some way to quantify that.
There would be, yeah. Should go both ways,
But
absolutely.
instead of doing layoffs, some of the counties are cutting, I don't know if they're doing it this go around, I haven't really met with any county commissioners. Instead of a 40-hour work week, a 35-hour work week. And I mean, it really does. You get your work done typically, but you are saving that.
Hours work.
And you can do like 2 hours. So instead of doing increases for employee, you know, you can just freeze them or, you know, so you're not adding additional.
Yeah, that would spread out pretty quickly with 700 employees.
You know, some people would be really happy to show it up to work maybe at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or leave at 4.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely, it's been a benefit. And the work does get done, apparently. You can get that work done because I'm shooting for that. I'm gonna hurry and leave.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or I mean, I'm leaving early, so I need to get this done.
Yeah.
So there are some options to get creative if we need to go there.
Definitely something to consider.
Lower hours.
Well, and some will do it would be hard to close a county. I think the court system, you can't close on a Friday, but some are just doing 4-day.
Right.
Or 4.5 days, but
Split the.
I would think
Monday,
just
Thursday,
saving
Tuesday, Friday.
you know, just balancing that out with coming in early or leaving late or taking a little bit longer. Easier than a half a day here.
Right.
Or a full day here for employees to
Shave off an hour a day, yeah.
have coverage, but I don't know, I think we're gonna have to get creative here with a lot of things.
So we'll do our part on the insurance, give you every option available out there, so.
Sounds good.
All right. That's all I have. Any questions for us? So again, next month, we'll do the same report. I'm getting on the schedule with Barb, but then in March and April, possibly May, Hayden will be attending the meetings, give you an update with Blair and everything. So I'll be available online if needed. That's all I got. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's 11:53 and we'll be in recess until next week.